Welcome back to Moria. Since my last video, I now have around 114 hours into this game, and I've reached a point where I feel like I've done all I really want to do with the game. And before I put it down for good, I wanted to make a video to show off my base and show what I've built. Overall, I had a lot of fun with the game, but I would say that as a whole, the game is around a solid 7 out of 10. It's not the best game, but there are some redeeming qualities, and really the one thing that kept me playing was the base building. I'd say that roughly 80% of the time I've spent with this game has been just the base building. So I'm starting this video here in the Elfish area, and then we'll go into the mines where I built my base around the first teleport stone that you come across. And in my last video, I kind of showed off what my base looked like at the time, and it was very small, and I had since rebuilt that a number of times and expanded it. So as we make our way into the mines here and look down, you'll see the first building that we'll come across. And I had started my base as just a house and kind of expanded it into a city. So you'll see a number of stuff as we go down the stairs here, but I kind of liked the idea of building out a whole base that was kind of like a little mini iron forge, and kind of had that type of motif going on. When we come up to this first building, if you go to the right here is the original path down into the mines, but I had kind of went around that by building what I'm calling my elevator, which is just a big stair building that will take me right down into the mines. When you start the game, the original path down there is very dark and windy, and I just wanted something that was very clean to come into the town. This whole area here is very unrecognizable from what you would see when you just start the game, because I really ripped everything out that is there just when the game builds it out, and laid down flooring for everything and built out the buildings and walls and everything around it. And here you can see the first view of what you see when you come into the city. And my house is off to the left up there. But before we get to that, I'll show you kind of the grand tour of going up onto the platform above. And this leads into where the original path down into the mines comes out. So if we go up here, the stairs that you see going up there, that's the original path, and then I built out this platform so that you can get a grand view of the city just up from above. Now this area you see where the stairs are, that's originally in the game just a giant hole where you can mine some minerals, but the one side is a path, but to build the stairs I just kind of blocked everything off and made a grand staircase entrance. All of the buildings in my town are fully functional. They have beds and fireplaces, except this one. And this is really just because I did have plans to build out a building here, but this thing here is non-destructible. So I just kind of had to build a fake front for it just to block it off so it looked a little bit more natural. I did have plans to build more houses up above when you walk in, but nothing really seemed right because everything I added just kind of blocked off the view and it just didn't look natural. So I'm still pretty happy with how the whole town has a lot of verticality. So it really seems like the mines themselves are lived in rather than just kind of a flat area. And one thing that's fun around here is occasionally bears will walk through the town, and something about that little area the bears don't want to go through, right? And they'll just kind of like break down that little handrail and plow through the little area just to get to the other part of the mine there. And I've just been kind of referring to this whole city as the crossroads because really there's like four different intersections here of different areas that you go into. The one area over by my house is the path to the Great Lift. The other one goes to that like giant staircase. And right now I'm just kind of showing like this is one of the houses that I was just kind of filling in a blank space with. So some of these things, you can't destroy those statues, so I just kind of built it as naturally as I could into a house. I would have liked if the game had a little bit more stuff that you could kind of junkify some of these houses with, of like just kind of natural stuff, like things you could put on tables and things like that, but it does kind of feel like some of these are a little bit empty. I probably could have put stuff like weapon racks and things. So here you'll see as we're coming up, this is the main house, and I had rebuilt this a number of times. I started with one thing, didn't really like it, and then I found something I did like, and then wanted to expand it, so I had to tear down the whole front and push out the front. So that took quite a lot of time to just rebuild, but this is all granite that takes quite a long time to mine, so it was going back and forth, just ran out of materials, have to go mine, come back, build a little bit more, and once I got the main house built out, I built out the rest, but this was the original structure. And one of my goals with building out the main house was that I really did want kind of a nice, like dwarven pub in the area. So I was happy that the Christmas expansion pack came out where they added those lights, and I really liked the vibe that this gave off with those Christmas lights. I think that's a real cool like bar atmosphere. And then if you look down here, this is my main work area. And this is a little craft room. I did originally have plans for a solid gold room as like kind of a treasure room, and I wanted it down here, but I wound up just tearing the walls down because of this two-tiered floor that it has down here. Every time I put the door up, the door would kind of just like clip into the flooring and it just didn't look right. So I tore it out, and my treasure room is now just a giant pile of gold in the basement. So if we go up and down the other way, this will lead in first to my dining room. And I was really happy with this. I think that came out pretty nice. I would have liked like maybe a bigger table, but I think this is nice. But just that's the meal table that you have to eat things. And you could see the back of this room from the other direction, but this is the master kitchen where I had to really expand this to include that giant keg in the back. And the last room that we have in this main house is my bedroom. And I would have liked to have had something a little bit more grand, but just the way that the house was built into the stone wall, I was kind of limited on space. So I was still happy with how it came out, where I can kind of just display all the armor sets on the one side and just have like a little bedroom here. I didn't really go for collecting all the armor sets and things, so I have some of them, but that wasn't really one of my goals in the game. I just had fun crafting things. I would have liked to have had a number of more statues around, but all of those cost hero tokens, I think they're called, and I just kind of ran out of those, so I just kind of sprinkled them around. And this is that path that goes to the Great Lift. So overall, I had fun with the game. I think for the 20 bucks I spent on it, it was well worth it. I got my money's worth. I'd certainly recommend it. I think it was a lot of fun despite some of its limitations, but it would certainly be fun if you were to play this with somebody else to do the co-op. And this is that direction that takes you to that
Quiet. I see prey ahead.
kind of ruined stone staircase. I know some of these things are different between playthroughs, but I think some of those more elaborate structures are kind of common elements. And there you can see a better view of the elevator building. I had originally built that out as kind of wall to wall there, but it just seemed very clunky and large, so I tore the whole thing down and then rebuilt it as a little bit more compressed, so the staircase was a little bit more crunched in, but it does look a lot better now that it's not uh, stretched out from one stone to another. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.